It's time for Tiger Talk Tuesday, coming live from MIGS. Tiger Talk Tuesday is sponsored by All Out Stump Grinding, Allen Harming Trucking, Berry Insurance Agency, CM Tree Service, Cricket Wireless, Crouch Hardware and Farm Supply, Economy Furniture, Edwards Heating and Cooling, Floyd Nicholson for Senate District 10, H&R Block, J&R Exterminating, Josh Price for Sheriff, MIGS of Saluda, Motor Coach Paint and Body Sales, Newberry Hospital, Northland Cable, Persimmon Hill Country Club, Punks PB and Jam, Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing, Ramey Funeral Home, Saluda Nursing and Rehab Center, the Law Office of Nancy T. Jordan, the Ridge Baptist Association of Churches, the Town of Saluda, the Wills Agency Nationwide Insurance, Timeless Roofing, and Whizzes of Batesburg, Leesville. We're so glad you're tuned in to Tiger Talk Tuesday. We encourage to send your comments and calls today throughout the program. Today we'll have special guests, and we will talk about the latest going on around the Saluda area, as well as all the happenings in sports. You're watching Tiger Talk Tuesday, live from MIGS, on your Saluda Now. And we want to welcome everyone in to Tiger Talk Tuesday, coming live from MIGS. Call in or comment 864-980-7768. We've got a jam-packed hour coming up for you. We're running a little bit behind. We had another meeting for our upcoming event that we're going to be announcing next week. But we got a lot on the slate today. We're going to be having just a few moments Lee Collins of the LEE podcast with Lee Collins, and we're going to be talking about some big changes at Abbeville High School. They've been making some updates. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, we'll talk a little bit about some Abbeville football, as well as Class 2A football coming up. As we know, we're under 70 days now to kickoff between Saluda and Strong Thurmond. We're also going to be looking at your comments today on Arch Manning. He is one of the most sought-after quarterbacks in the nation. That's right. You're looking at Archie Manning's nephew, also Peyton Manning. It is his cousin. We will be talking a little bit about him today as he went on a visit to Clemson and Texas over the weekend. We'll also have on tap for us in just a little bit Joe Licia, and he is going to be on the program in just a few moments. We'll also be talking about the blue chip ratio that has come out on 247 Sports, and it has the predictions for this year's who will win the national championship. Also, we're going to be talking about the progress on the new Dollar General on Newberry Highway. It is next week it will be opening up. And we're going to also be talking about the fatal shooting that happened over the weekend and how you can help bring this shooter to justice. Call in 864-980-7768. We'd love to have you call in on the program. And I'm Bulldog Burt, glad to be back with y'all. I missed you last week. We were on a conference, a pastor's conference in Georgia, but we're back, and we're looking for some great topics coming up. I'm looking on my chat line now, seeing people trying to connect up with me. Yes, still good, 315, please. Lee Collins just text me, but right now we're going to try to get Joel on the phone, and he had a wonderful graduation speech, and I tell you, the graduation was something because it's the longest graduation I think I've ever been to because of the rain. But we got the class of 2021 graduated. If you hadn't had a chance to go watch it, please go back and watch it on Saluda Now, and we have it there for you. And this young man, I never have met him. I didn't know a lot about him, but he had a wonderful graduation speech, and we're going to have him on the program right now. In fact, Joel is calling in right now. And Joel, thank you for calling in on Saluda Now.
Hey, how are you? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, Joel, good to finally talk to you. Now, I don't know if you know it or not, but I was in the booth covering the graduation, and
Okay.
first, I'm glad you got through it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was. I mean, it was almost an expected turn of events. We didn't expect it to be
Yeah,
as bad as it was, but we were hoping to get through it the first time around. Luckily, we got to come back and get it right the second time.
but I tell you, your speech meant so much to me. Number one, I am sorry that I never met you when you were here. Now, you were a graduate of 2017, is that right?
2017 from the University of South Carolina. 2013 from Saluda High School.
2013. Well, that was even before Saluda Now was in existence.
That's
Uh,
right.
but I tell you, I told some of the people that I thought that not only are you a great citizen and you're probably one of the top people in my book from Saluda, South Carolina, and I don't want to make your head swell too much, but what you have done for civil rights in the state of South Carolina, especially when it comes to children of immigrants. Tell us a little bit about your story, Joel, because I know a lot of people didn't get to watch the graduation speech that are watching Tiger Talk Tuesday. Tell us a little bit about your story in just a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem. I'd be glad to. So I mean, I was as I mentioned in the speech, I'm a product of Saluda County. You know, however it is that you want to frame it. Just your typical student. You growing up. You know, visited all the typical places. As I mentioned, I didn't know too much about college. As it was at the time. I'm not sure about now. With many of my peers. You know, we just knew that growing up that it was something that we had to achieve. And so, you know, as I got older and came into high school, you know, some of that information was provided by teachers. And so I kind of had a sense, not as much as I do now, but, you know, we tried to do everything by the book. So, you know, anything that they told me we needed to do, whether it was, you know, good grades, you know, high GPA, you know, be involved, all of those things we kind of tried to check off just to kind of set ourselves up for an acceptance. And so when it was time to apply, we finally did, and we received the acceptance letters. Um, but then we were faced with, you know, I don't know, with a hurdle when it was time to sign the document. So I received, as I mentioned, a scholarship, a full ride from South Carolina, and when it was time to fill out the post acceptance document, you know, there was I think it was called a residency certification, right? So it established residency parents if you're underage or you know still being dependent on your parents' tax forms, where you had to provide. You know, I think this was more of a formality so that people who have multiple residencies, like you know, people who have multiple houses in different states, don't get in-state credit when they're really out of state, right? So I understand the university's perspective, but it was a hurdle because my parents unfortunately couldn't provide any supporting documentation to establish residency. I mean, we went to the front office, um, the appropriate front office, and we were told that there was nothing that they could do. That the only possible solution was for me to become independent, right? But that took a whole fiscal year of claiming my own taxes and you know being independent, not claim as a dependent on the tax forms. So that was not necessarily an option. So we didn't have anything to do. We were stuck against you know a rock and a hard place where we had done everything that we needed to do, and then when it came time to sign, we couldn't. Right. So um, I remember
So,
Coach Crumpton. He was Saluda High School varsity coach, soccer coach for a couple of years in Saluda. And he was the one that drove me to that meeting. The lady at the front office told us there was nothing we could do, and so we were frustrated. Right? We didn't understand how nothing could be done. And so we went back and found out that there was an appeals process to these types of things, the university. So he did some research and helped me out in that sense, and we filed an appeals. When we filed the appeals case, we were told that the earliest that we could be seen was in November, right? So school starts in the fall; it starts around August. They said that we would have to pay the full out-of-state tuition. I think it was like 2 or 3 times the amount up front. And then if our case won in November after the appeals case hearing, then we would get that refunded, right? And then everything reinstated. But I mean, I don't know about you. I didn't have $80,000 at my disposal to pay up front, you know.
Right. That's right.
And so then after that, as I mentioned, I talked to Dr. Abby Duggins, Dr. Vacchio, people who are still in Saluda, and they oriented me to people that could help, right? So we contacted Appleseed Law Firm in Columbia, and then they contacted the Southern Poverty Law Center, branched out of Atlanta. And then they kind of got together and they sent in a letter on my behalf. They decided to take up the case. And soon after we met, South Carolina got back to me and said, you know what? We don't have to meet you in November. We can meet you in 2 weeks. Right? But that was after the lawyers had sent the letters on my behalf. And then, we showed up to a meeting with all, I think it was the board members from the university. And the decision was retracted. So we were able to, get our scholarship reinstated, and it kind of set a precedent for the state, so that people like this didn't have to go through that anymore. And looking back, it makes sense, everything that way that it happened. I was part of, I guess you could say, some of the first waves of students that were graduating high school and pursuing college. Before me, I didn't have anybody to look to that had gone through the situation. I know there have been some children of immigrants that had gone on to college, but they didn't seem to be in the same situation as I was. So it was almost like we were at the front lines of this wave, and
Right.
thankfully a lot of people behind me were able to benefit from that and were able to attend school without a problem. They would just have to verify their status and all of that to receive their benefits. But no, I mean, it was a tough time because you do everything by the books, and then you get told that you can't enter even after you've been accepted. So, but looking back, I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I'm grateful that it all worked out the way that it did in the end.
And you are pursuing a degree. What's your major now, Joel?
So I'm currently at the University of Georgia. I'm pursuing a PhD in exercise physiology. So that's kind of like the broad term. I specifically focus on neuroimaging techniques with children who have cerebral palsy. So so we bring the kids in for a year, and they're with us for a year, and we give them some therapy that they get to take home, and they come back and visit us at different time points throughout the year, and we get to measure. Well, I get to measure, how their brain develops over that time. But we do, different ranges of things from biomechanics. We do some X-ray scans, some MRI scans. We look at their muscles and how they develop and all of that. So it's a couple of things that we do, but I focus on the brain aspect of those developments.
And you're on the campus there at Athens.
I am
Well, it's sort of a coincidence, but I am a big Georgia Bulldog fan. I don't know if anybody's told you that or not.
but
I'm Bulldog Bert, by the way.
Bulldog Bert.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I wanted to tell you too. My family are from Madison County, which is one county over. When you go to Athens, Luda, and Highway 72, you go through Crawford, Homer, and Colbert, and all those in Hull, Georgia, and all those are in Madison County. And I got 10 folks living in every one of them towns.
Yeah, no, okay. I think we might have people. Yeah, I think we might have people coming in to visit us from Madison. I've managed to travel, to a different place in Georgia. We go recruit different children who are interested in being part of the study, different families. I think I've had my fair share of time in Madison.
How about that? And
Yeah.
we're actually gonna have a show. It's not gonna be. It's affiliated with Salute now, but it's called Pet Rally Radio, and we're gonna be in there in August. So I'm gonna get back in touch with you. Hopefully, maybe I can have you on the show in August when we are in Athens.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I'd be delighted. You have my number. You can always reach out to me. As long as the time is there, I'm willing to, help out wherever I can.
That's right. But I want you to know that we're proud of you, proud of what you have done, not only for yourself, but for the countless hundreds of people that will follow you in this. Because everybody should have an opportunity to have an education.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And you're a citizen of this country, and you should be afforded the rights, liberties that the Constitution has issued to you. Because of your accomplishment, we want to thank you for what you did and the courage you had to think.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Bulldogberg. Thank you so much for your kind words. I feel that it's always important to come back and share those stories, not for self gratitude or but more to inspire the next generation. I think growing up in Saluda, that was one of my main objectives when I was pursuing this educational career. It was in part to show the people that would come behind me. I had younger brothers and siblings and people who I knew that were close that would eventually reach that point and have to make that decision. But I think it's important to come back and inspire and show, more than anything, show the people that it can be done. When I was in school, I didn't have anybody, like I said, to look to and say, wow, like this person went all the way, came back and shared their story. We can kind of follow or mimic those footsteps that they took. I think it's definitely important to have that reference, whether they choose to pursue that or not, just to have the knowledge and sense that it can be done, I think is important. So having the opportunity to come back to Saluda and kind of speak on that was very, very powerful for me. I'm very grateful for the opportunity and grateful to be on the show today. So thank you.
Well, Tiger Joel, we thank you for calling in today. And don't never forget Saluda where you got started.
Of course. No way. Thank you so much.
Now, are your parents still living in Saluda, or are they living over there in Athens with you?
My parents are still in Saluda. They kind of settled in Saluda. I have two siblings, one who's still in high school, who will graduate next year. I have Diego he's part of the football team. He was part of that state championship team too, so he'll be walking that stage next year, hopefully.
Well, Joel, thank you so much for coming on Tiger Talk.
I appreciate the opportunity, Bert. Thank you so much.
And we'll be back after this break. You're watching Tiger Talk Tuesday Live. Thank you so much. At Allen Harmon Trucking, we treat your load and our truckers like family. Wake up to a beautiful sunrise in your big rig office. Then be at home in time to kiss your wife and kids goodnight. Call us today for more information. 864-445-7249. Allen Harmon Trucking is a proud supporter of Saluda Tiger football.
Are you ready to consider a job that provides consistent pay, great benefits, and paid time off? Then join the AMIC team. We'll teach you everything you need to know. Apply today for positions at our Batesburg facility at www.amicfarms.com. Phone interviews are available for quick consideration. That's amicfarms.com. Berry Insurance Group, located in Batesburg, Leesville, offering auto, home, farm, and commercial insurance. Owned and operated by Will Berry. Choose local. Choose independent. Choose Berry Insurance Group. 803-307-0030 or online at berryingroup.com.
CM Tree Service. Cody Berry and Martin Berry are ready to give you a free estimate. We're insured for tree removal and pruning. Call us today. 864-377-7898 or 864-980-0153. And like us on Facebook, CM Tree Service.
With Cricket Wireless Savings, the whole family can watch Saluda now. The difference is clear as Cricket's signal when you see the money you can save by switching. And with nationwide 5G coverage, your wireless connectivity is wherever life takes you. So come by Cricket Wireless today at 300 South Jefferson and let us show you the Cricket difference.
Crumley Ford, 102 Greenwood Highway, Saluda invites you to come in today to save. The 2020 Ford Edge Escape Explorer and Expedition has 0% financing for 60 months. Call today, 864-445-2107, and talk to Mike, Will, or Lauren at Crumley Ford. Save money, save time. Shop Crouch's first. Whether it's lumber, paint, hardware, electrical, plumbing, we supply you from feed to field. Yeti, Traeger, Blackstone, Costa, Salty Britches, Milwaukee, Makita, and much more. Come by and visit us today. 508 North Main Salute or call 864-445-0063.
Shop local at Economy Furniture. Huge savings on Benchcraft, Lazy Boy, Best Home Furnishings, and so many more. Visit our website now to see all our specials at economyfurniture.com. Right on the corner, right on the price.
Edwards Heating and Cooling, Saluda, South Carolina, provides you excellent service when it comes to your HVAC unit. Keith and Dawn Edwards have many years' experience in the heating and cooling business. They invite you to call them today, 864-445-0088, or visit their website, edwardsandheatingcoolingllc.com. Go, Saluda Tigers! When it comes tax time, look no further than H&R Block, 304th North Main, Saluda. They make sure you get all the deductions you need to save money. When it comes tax time, trust the professionals at H&R Block. Call them 864-445-2958 and like them on Facebook.
JRA Exterminating, the most trusted name in pest extermination. Remember, folks, whether it's cockroaches or piss ants, call Justin Anderson at JRA Exterminating today at 803-532-1122 or at www.jraexterminating.com.
MIGS of Saluda, serving tasty dishes, appetizers, fresh salads, hot out of the oven fresh subs, chicken, steak, and seafood, and the best Italian dishes and pizza around. Visit them today, 216 Greenwood Highway. For a drive-through or pickup, call ahead, 864-445-9990. At Motor Coach Paint and Body, we put quality first. Whether it's your vehicle, RV, boat, or aircraft, we can handle it all. Leave it to us to take care of your insurance claim, or you can pay us right out of your pocket. So call BR Britt Reams today, 864-445-7747, and like us on Facebook. Newberry County Memorial Hospital, your hospital. Our mission is to provide exceptional care with a personal touch. Newberry Hospital is engaged in the passionate pursuit of optimal care, treatment, and convenience. Our goal is to always be the first choice for your quality health care needs. No one handles care better. NewberryHospital.org. There's only one thing faster than a Stuart Young offense. YourNorthland.com. With internet, cable, TV, and phone beginning at $25 a month, you can get out of the slow lane and into the fast lane in no time. So speed it up with YourNorthland.com. Northland Cable, a proud supporter of Saluda Tiger Athletics. We're back here with you on Tiger Talk Tuesday. We are so glad that you joined us today. And listen, if you have a chance, please go back and watch the interview we had with Joe Licia. Let me tell you, that is an extraordinary young man. He has broken the barriers for a lot of people. Son of immigrants, right here in Saluda, the class of 2013. Denied scholarship funds to the University of South Carolina, which totaled up to $80,000. But because he fought not only for himself, he fought for those that will follow him. He was able to go on and pursue his career, and now is furthering his college career by getting a PhD there at the University of Georgia to help special need children. And I think that is wonderful, and we're hoping we will have him in the future with us on other programs from Saluda Now. But right now, we're glad to have with us somebody very special from Abbeville, South Carolina. We're glad to have Lee Collins. Lee, thank you for joining us on Saluda Now.
Burden, let's spot the ball, man. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, it's under 70 days now, isn't it?
That's right.
And I love your new podcast, LEE Podcast with Lee Collins. Now, is this just a spur of the moment thing, or is it a certain time of the day?
Well, I'll tell you, Burden, it kind of came from a couple different things. Number one, I started it last year during the quarantine because I needed to talk to other people besides my wife and my kids because I love them very much, but I needed some escapism.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try to have some conversations with folks that, I don't usually conversate with on a daily basis, whether it be in the sports world, the ministry world, just family, friends, whatever it may be. And I, it's kind of like a good all you can eat buffet. You never know what you're gonna get. So I've had a chance to talk to a lot of former Abbeville players. Got a chance to talk to Kelly Bryant last year.
Wow.
And got a chance to talk to some of the coaches. I just had an interview with the new baseball coach, Daniel Little, who came in from Landrum. We're excited about that, getting him back home here in Abbeville to coach the baseball program. But then I've had some other conversations with some musicians from, I tell you what, today I'm actually going to be doing an interview with Christine Scarpelli from WSBA News Channel 7. She does a lot of the high school kickoffs around the state.
Oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with her.
I'm going to be talking to Dan Scott, who is a legend in sports talk radio and the voice of the Furman Paladins. I'm going to be talking with him tomorrow. So you never know, man. It's a little bit of a who's who. So I'm excited about it.
That's amazing. And you're not only in the sports realm, you're in the spirit realm, too, as youth pastor of Grace United Methodist, and we're very familiar with Grace United Methodist, us Saluda fans, because a lot of us have park over there.
And we appreciate that.
Because y'all's booster clubs have got the parking lot full, but it's amazing. And you said one of the good things about being pastor at youth pastor at Grace is you get to see all the practices going on, and I can only imagine that, but there's a lot of changes coming on in Abbeville, and that's what sort of brought about this interview today. It was sort of a spur of the moment too, when we put up a picture of the new Big A on the, what do y'all call that? Do y'all have a name for that building?
Yeah, that's our athletic building, which is our locker rooms and our weight rooms are in there, and yeah, we basically kind of have finally, Burton. I mean, I'm 45 years old. I've been around, near and around, involved with Abbeville football in some form or fashion since I've been a teenager, and I didn't know if I'd ever see the day where we would finally get some much needed upgrades. But we're finally actually doing that. We've broken ground for a new press box, which is under construction. We're going to have a new concession stand and bathroom on the home side. Those two things are probably the two most important things right now. They totally went in and redid the athletic locker rooms for the players. Finally got some individual lockers in there for them to make it a little bit more personal for them.
Yes.
So some upgrades there. We just put in some new goalposts now, Burton, so it would not be a discrepancy on whether the extra points are good or not. These things are like 5 stories tall. I mean, they're huge.
Wow.
Got the orange flags on the top that help to catch the wind. So it's a beautiful thing to see those over there. Those were brought in. I think those were done through a donation. We also are hopefully going to be getting a new scoreboard. I'm hoping we'll get that in before the start of the season. So those are the things that are kind of like the front end things that we're trying to get done. There's a lot more stuff that is on the horizon that I'm not sure if we'll get it all done this year or not, but we're looking to totally clear out behind the visitor area on the other side to pave that, make that a visitor's parking lot. We're hoping to hopefully get visitor locker room and concession stand built over there. And then we're also looking at the possibility of building a new field house right behind where the press box is going to be at some point. So it's exciting, man. I'll be honest with you. When we had the demolition day for the old press box, I was a little sentimental.
Yeah.
My dad did the PA for 18 years over in the press box, and he started doing that in the mid-'80s. And then I did 18 years with the radio crew up there, and I'm still up there helping with the PA and social media and stuff. So it was a little bittersweet to see it go, but, man, we were so overdue for some kind of upgrade. And so this new press box is going to be twice as big as the other one was.
Wow.
Going to have plenty of room up top for the coaches and video crews. And so I'm excited about it. And just to see them out here with materials, you know, and the cool thing about it is, Burton, with our school district, you know, we're Dixie High School is getting upgrades too. They're getting new press box concession stand. They're getting some upgrades to their stadium too for their football and soccer. Because, you know, you forget that there's more than one thing that happens on the football fields at these schools. So, so this helps out everybody. And so it's exciting. It's exciting to finally see something being done. And we've talked about it a long time, but now the new superintendent and the principals have really gotten in and been very aggressive in getting stuff done. And obviously with the building and labor stuff that's going on, the struggles that's going there, the inflation, the prices, obviously it's slowed things down a little bit, but I feel pretty sure that we can get our concession stand and press box hopefully done maybe by the start of the season. So, and hopefully the rest of the stuff will come as we can.
That's wonderful. And, you know, Saluda is, of course, we're hoping we'll be back there in early November or mid-November for the playoffs because we realize about every year you have to go through Abbeville to get to Columbia. But anyway, we share a very big common bond with y'all because Coach Height, who the stadium is named after, won his first state championship in Saluda.
That's right.
And one of the guys that actually played on the team, we're doing an interview with him this coming week, and he was on the 1942 state championship team.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And he attends Emmanuel Church, and that's where I pastor at. And we're going to have an interview. He's 93 years old now, and I just broke that news right here on Saluda Now. A lot of people didn't even know that was going to happen, but I just broke the story with you on here because
that's awesome.
I am so happy for y'all, and that Big A looks good too. I like the new design and everything. I don't know who come up with that, but
they're going to hopefully. I think they're going to put a little lighting on it too to help it light up at night.
Wow.
You know, and then you know, at some point too, Burton, I know that there's been a lot of questions about, you know, we talked about upgrading our visitor side, and I think they're hoping that they can maybe get some mound built up to where they can raise those visitor seats up here in the future. That's something I know is on the list of things to do. And again, I don't know exactly if that'll get done this year or not. kind of trying to do the A1 emergency things kind of right away.
Yeah.
But I think that's something too that's going to be helpful for our visiting crowd too. And so I mean, it's going, in the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to look like a totally different place, and I'm excited for that.
Well, Saluda is working sort of the same way. We're having to work on our concession stand and also new field house and locker rooms and bathrooms for the facility over there. That's one of the agenda items that is coming up. In fact, we have a group of citizens getting together and we're trying to raise money for that. But that's still in the pre-planning right now. But
Yeah.
we know how that is over here because we had to totally redo our home side. It was a architectural problem, and they were able to solve that problem. But you want to make sure these places are kept up, and because they're not only institutions, they're places memories are made, and you can't replace that. And,
I think I love about it too, Burton, as you very well know. I mean, there's a lot of history at y'all stadium. There's a lot of history at Heights Stadium. There's a lot of history at Wilson Campbell Stadium in '96. I mean, you can build new buildings and new schools and stuff, but the richness of that tradition of those football fields, there's so many stories and memories that come from way beyond years past that you want to try to preserve that for a lot of towns like ours that are small towns where football might be the one thing that brings everybody together despite their differences in life and politics and whatever. That's the one place that you can gather and have a united voice. And so anything that we can do to upgrade and make it better, and because just like you guys have probably seen down there, we've had second generation kids come through this program, and now we've got third generation kids coming through the program. So it's just something special about it. It's something unique about it, and that's why I told you I like sitting here looking through the window this morning. The guys were out there on the field going through some stuff, and just to see those gold helmets out there, it's a beautiful sight. So last year we didn't get to see that this time. We were still waiting, wondering if we were going to have a season.
Yeah.
So thankful that we're in a better place this year.
And we got some breaking news. Nick Saban has just signed a contract with Alabama through 2028, entering his 15th season with Alabama and 26th as a college football head coach. Woo!
Well, I would say that's money well spent.
Well, I don't know how much the contract's going to be, but I'm sure that story's coming out. We'll have more about that when it comes out on Saluda now. But you said you interviewed Kelly Bryant. Now, how did that interview go?
It was really good, Bert. I've known Kelly for a long time, especially when he was over here, started out in middle school ranks and stuff. And we've always had a line of connections to communicate with, even through everything that went down at Clemson and whatnot. And so it just worked out. Timing was right, and we could make it work. And he was all about it. And it's probably a good hour and a half conversation. You know what, Bert? And one thing about it was, one thing I told him, I said, look, this is not like a media grab. I mean, everybody knows everything that went down. We know everybody's thoughts on it on both sides of the deal. That's a bridge. Everybody's moved on. Everybody's moved on to different things. So we really focused on how he almost did not choose to play football.
Wow.
He was going to focus mainly on basketball, and it was due to one of our local coaches that kind of pushed him ahead. He went and followed football, and right now he's still in the process of trying to hopefully get on with an NFL program somewhere. He's still training, he's still getting looks, still going to camps and stuff. But I think there's still a chance he's going to have to hopefully get with an NFL team soon. But it was a really good conversation. I had a talk with Coach Mark Smith. He's been with our football program since back in the early '80s.
Oh yeah.
He just received his award for going into the Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame. And so I had a couple of conversations with him about football and baseball memories. And so that kind of stuff has been really good. And then I've had, some ministry talks and stuff too. But yeah, I've talked to a lot of our former players, guys that have gone on, Keenan Gilchrist, who played at App State, Reggie Thomas, who played at Furman, Ashton Hurd, I don't know if you remember him or not, but he's actually playing overseas football right now over in Berlin. And so, I've been able to catch up with a lot of these guys and just hear about their stories and memories. So it's been a good way to keep connection with these guys.
Well, that sounds great, and we can tune in LEE podcast with Lee Collins. Now, is that on Facebook or Twitter?
Yeah, my Facebook. You can follow me, Lee Collins, on Facebook. You can find the podcast on Spotify. It's the LEE podcast, and I'll have some interviews coming up later this week. But you can go on there and you can see all the interviews that I've done. And there's some good listens, some good conversations on there in a lot of different areas, sports, ministry, and whatnot. So it's good stuff. And we'll be starting up our Evening Drive Sports Show here coming up at the end of July up here on WZLA. So excited to get back in and start talking some football.
Yes, the end of July is actually when the coaches' meeting will start going on, and that's going to be interesting. It's going to be in Greenville this year, and so we may see a lot of activity out there. And also what will be coming up next year is realignment, and I'm interested to see how that goes. We didn't like it, that we weren't in the region with Abbeville and 96 especially, but we got put in the Columbia region. But what I've always told Coach Young, we're in the TV region because every Friday night, because we play in the Columbia region, it's Newberry. We play Newberry, Gray Collegiate, Columbia, I think it's Keenan, and one more, Batesburg. And because we're in that region, we're always on football Friday night, Channel 10, watch Fox 57, also the CBS station over there, News 19, WLTX. We're always on Friday night, whereas when we play y'all or when we play 96, it's limited TV coverage because Saluda is sort of like the redheaded stepchild of the state. We're right in the middle of the upstate. We have down here close to us also with the same amount of miles to Augusta, so we're part of the CSRA, and then with the Midlands back toward Columbia. So really nobody claims us, but everybody wants to come here and cover us when something bad happens. That's the only way we get in the news. Something bad happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with a lot of the geographic stuff with a lot of these conferences. We either are going to go east or we're going to go north. And like now we're playing Christchurch and Liberty and and stuff, and so it's kind of feast or famine for us. But I've always been under the idea and impression that if you keep Saluda, Batesburg, 96, and Abbeville, and I'm not just talking about football, Burton, I'm talking about in all sports.
Yes.
Those four schools have natural rivalries in almost every sport, and every sport benefits from those four teams being together. I don't care what anybody says. So that's the way I'm kind of the old school Region 3 guy. I love that region. And it's not an easy region right now for sure.
No.
And with Gray in there and everything, but again, it pays off in the end because who you play during the year can go a long way to who you play at the end of the year. So
it's a tough region, but it's worth being in it because, like I said, it's in the TV market. And why is that important? Because we're not Abbeville. We're Saluda. Now, we appreciate y'all letting us win over there in 2019. That's an understatement. But the coverage y'all get allows y'all's players to go to the next level in college. And that's so important. I don't know how many y'all graduated this year that went to college, but I think the past year, even with the COVID, I think it was 9, wasn't it, that went on to the next level in college.
Yeah, there was a few. And I think that's the thing. You're right. I mean, because you guys are so close to Lexington and Columbia, it definitely is a more benefit, especially the schools, down that way, like your Benedict colleges and stuff like that are looking to get kids. We just had Erskine football start back up here, and there's a lot of kids even up in the upper part of the state that don't get D1 looks and whatnot. So it's given another opportunity for maybe a chance to go and play football and maybe get through their academic part of their career while doing something that they love to do. So I'm all for any exposure is good exposure, and even if you have to kind of suffer through it a little bit at times, it's worth it. And but I definitely think with what Coach Young has done down there and what you guys have been able to create, the atmosphere and the following that you guys have, you guys you're in a good place to rise above any of the stuff that's going to be a distraction for others. So you guys have been through the battles down there.
And I tell you, Lee, I know for a fact it has to do with you, the good folks over there at y'all's radio station, 92.9. I can't remember the call letters of it, but it's country. Anyway, y'all work and have the games on Friday night, and that has inspired me to do Salute Now. And I tell you, it works, and I'm not trying to be prideful or anything, but we had a pastors conference in Atlanta. I know what football related, but when I came in there, you're talking about 700 or more people there, and it was in Atlanta now. And you got people from all over the Southeast, all over the world. There's 49 countries represented there. And they start coming up to you and recognizing Bulldog Bert. That just does something to you, and it shows you the importance of social media. And that's why it's important what you're doing there on the podcast, well, what y'all doing on the radio station. It gets Abbeville athletes recognized.
Right.
Whereas we're lacking TV. Now, y'all do have radio, thank goodness for that. But social media is the most important part of it right now, because that's where people go to get their information. And it shows the importance of media coverage for your teams.
Well, I can tell you for you guys too. You know this to be true, but when I started the Twitter page a few years back, it was kind of like nobody was really on Twitter, so we didn't really know how it was going to be. But we've got almost 2,300 followers on Twitter.
Wow.
And that's coaches, that's universities, that's
wonderful.
Other athletes. I mean, when you get endorsed by C.J. Spiller, who's following, then you feel like, okay, you've done some things. And so I know Saluda has a great Twitter handle. And the thing about it, there's Twitter, what we try to do, and I know you guys try to do, is we're basically like an offset of the radio. We try to give you the play-by-plays, the scores, as much detail as we can for people that just can't get to the games. And I know it's benefited a lot of people. I know with you guys being able to broadcast definitely benefits a lot of people, especially last year with a lot of people not sure to get out or not. So, I think you guys have a lot to be proud of, and they owe a big gratitude to you for being able to put in the time and invest, because a lot of people don't realize it takes a lot of time and a lot of investment to do a lot of stuff. Benji is right now, they're working on opening up their new radio station studio here in Abbeville, and he's hoping to expand the radio coverage into the podcast world and try to cover some of these other sports and stuff. So I'm thankful for guys like you and him that are willing to put it in and have the passion for it. That definitely pays off.
Well, I recommend video too, because video works.
Yep.
And people say, well, I just listen to you. I don't really watch video, turn it down. But you should be surprised when Dabo Sweeney is setting up your webcast in the players area so everybody can see it in his house to watch us on Friday night. That's pretty impressive, And so that lets you know it's very important. You said C.J. Spiller. I mean, whew, that's leaps and bounds there. But tell us again. We're gonna put a link up to your page there on Facebook, and you can follow him there. LEE Podcast with Louis Collins. And you said you had an interview today, didn't you?
Yep, going to be interviewing someone today. Going to be talking to Dan Scott, like I said, the voice of Thurman, and
Wow.
former sports talk guy tomorrow. Got some more conversations coming down the road. So, yeah, going to be talking with Joseph Battle here in a couple of weeks. He was a big part of our success in 2015 and led our football and basketball teams to state championship. So, going to be talking a little bit with him. So, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about conversations, and thank you so much for letting me have the time with you today. I've enjoyed talking with you. And you try to keep Kevin and all them straight down there, keep them straight and out of trouble before football season.
Well, they chomping at the bit. And you know our buddy Richie Altman, you've been on his program before.
I've heard.
Yeah, and in fact, he is in the Somerville area, and he is going to be doing a radio program in Rock Hill, Charlotte. So he is moving from one end of the state to the other end of the state. So that's going to give us a perspective there, and some people we can know in the Charlotte area, which is one of the biggest areas for recruiting in the nation, next to Atlanta, probably. But anyway, Lee, thank you for joining us on Salute Now. We're going to be tuned in this afternoon to your webcast or maybe in the morning.
Yeah, it'll probably be up tomorrow, and
Okay.
then I'll post the link, and I'll shoot you a link for that too. All right.
That is Lee Collins with LEE Podcast. When we come back, we're going to look at some other things and have information on how you can help solve a crime. You're watching Salute Now. Come play the thrill of the hill at Persimmon Hill Golf Club. With the longest hole in South Carolina, you're sure to be challenged. Afterwards, unwind with your friends around the 19th hole in our restaurant. 126 Golf Club Avenue. We welcome to see you at Persimmon Hill Golf Club. Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing. For over 50 years, we've been serving our customers by providing reasonable services at prices you can afford. When it comes time to get your car or truck towed in, call us 864-543-2957. We serve 96 and Cholula 24/7. Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing. Punk's PB and Jam. 1150 Batesburg Highway is open to serve you Wednesday through Saturday, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. with breakfast, lunch, and catering. Call ahead for takeout, 864-445-3434. Punk's PB and Jam. When you have experienced the loss of a loved one, you can trust the Ramey Funeral Home staff to guide you through the process of honoring their life. At RameyFuneralHome.com, you can find pre-planning information, obituaries, as well as resources for grief and healing. Ramey Funeral Home, a proud supporter of Saluda Tiger Athletics. At Saluda Nursing and Rehab Center, caring is a way of life. Our 176-bed nursing facility serves Saluda County since 1968. We offer 24/7 skilled nursing care, and our staff is consistent, compassionate, caring, and knowledgeable. Outpatient rehab therapy services are provided through Physicians Order Services. Call for a free tour, 864-445-2146 or saludanursing.org. The law office of Nancy T. Jordan specializes in family court matters and representing individuals injured in automobile collisions. At the law office of Nancy T. Jordan, you get experienced, compassionate results. When you need legal representation, call 803-785-7879 or email Nancy at nancyjordanlaw.com. The Ridge Baptist Association is 24 member churches sharing the gospel of Christ. We partner together, serve alongside each other, learn from one another, and connect to God. we invite you to come visit us this Sunday in one of our member churches. Ridge Baptist Association, better together. The Wills Agency, your local nationwide insurance agent, is open to serve you with offices in Aiken, Batesburg, and Saluda. Call for your free quote today for auto, home, life, and business. Let me help you save today. James S. Wills Agency. Nationwide is on your side. And we're glad to be back here with you on Tiger Talk Tuesday, coming live from MIGS. You can come out tonight, get the buy one, get one free special right here at MIGS. Buy one pizza, get the second one half off. And we're so glad you joined us here on Saluda Now. We were so glad to be joined by Lee Collins as well as Joy Alicia. And we need your help in the with a case. It deals with a fatal shooting that happened here in Saluda. We'll be putting up a post about this in just a few moments here on Tiger Talk Tuesday and on Saluda Now. What it happens to do with is the case of Deontrez Mealy. And if you can help with this, please call anonymously, or you can call the Saluda Police Department, either one. But you can call anonymously right now and report it to the Midlands Crime Stoppers. Your name will not, you will not have to reveal anything about your name. And so you can do it by three ways. Go to MidlandCrimeStoppers.com, use the P3 Tips app, or call 888-CRIME-SC. That number, 888-274-6372. And our heartfelt sympathy goes out to the Mealing family. We are praying for you. This young man was gunned down there on Balknight Fair Road around 4 o'clock this past Sunday morning. And our heartfelt sympathy goes out to him, his family today. And we hope someone can help solve this crime. We're glad to be here with you on Saluda Now, and call in 864-980-7768. And of course, Tiger Talk Tuesday is sponsored by Gentry and Sons Quality Fencing with quality service. We are your fence company. Gentry and Sons Fence Company, LLC. We provide quality fencing with quality services from chain link, pasture, privacy, and vinyl. Call for a free quote, 864-992-5425, and Justin and his boys will come out to give you a repair or install a new fence. Gentry and Sons Fence Company. All right. Call in if you would like to comment on anything right now. 864-980-7768. We just had an interview with Lee Collins and also Joel Alicia, who give us a great interview about how he trended, or how he made the way for people, the children of immigrants, to come here to America and get scholarships. That's a great interview we had today. And we talked about reporting this crime anonymously, who murdered Deontrez Mealy. Call in today, 864-980-7768. We'd love to take your calls. Now, I don't know if you've been on the Newberry Highway lately, but there's some activity going on over there as way is being made for a new Dollar General. In fact, the Greenwood location is moving to the Newberry location, Newberry Highway, and they'll have more space and be able to serve you better in that facility. So we're looking forward to having Dollar General come be with us next week on Tiger Talk Tuesday. It's going to be the grand opening, and we're hoping to be a part of that. Hope you'll be a part of it too. And we're going to bring you more coverage of that as we get closer. But right now, we want to look at this poll that has come out. It's called the Blue Chip Ratio. And why is this so significant? Well, the way it was put out was it's the top 16 teams that could possibly make the championship this year. Why did they pick 16? Because there's a proposal next year going to a 12-team playoff system. But this one sort of recommends we go to a 16 system. And the way I understand it is that there's sort of a formula on how you can make the playoffs and everything. Somebody's going to get a bye week. Somebody's going to have to play sort of like the NFL does. It'll be sort of modeled after that. But this is what we see here. We see, of course, who's at number one, who we just talked about. Nick Saban just signed a contract through 2028, assuring that he would be the coach at Alabama. 84% pick Alabama to win. And then who is next? Of course, the obvious, the Eastern favorite this year, Georgia, my team, the Bulldogs. Why not? I mean, we've got one of the best quarterbacks in the nation coming, JT Daniels, and some of the best defense in America. So they're at 80%. Then nipping us on the heels is Ohio State. 79% believe that they will make it to the to be the champions for the 2021 year. And then we see Clemson at 67. Now, Clemson sort of fell down. Of course, they're running with a Trevorless system. So they no longer have Trevor Lawrence, who is arguably one of the best quarterbacks ever been at Clemson. They've sort of taken a step back, and they do have a new quarterback, so that is playing into it. And, of course, they're followed by LSU, Oklahoma, Texas, and Florida, all tied at 66%. All of them are facing similar offenses, new adjustments, some new coaches. All this is playing into it. And then Texas A&M there is at 61%. I was sort of surprised by that because Auburn is below them there, picked to be the 11th team, with Michigan squeaking in at 58. Then Oregon, Penn State, Notre Dame, Miami, and USC. But, you know, the reason that a lot of these teams are even in the top argument is because they're coming from different conferences. So in order to equal it up and represent it, that's sort of what they put in there. And, of course, this weekend, Arch Manning visited Texas as well as Clemson. He was spotted there at Clemson University. That's where this picture was taken from, there on the campus of Clemson. Of course, people have been asking what kind of shorts he's got on there. It was his high school. That's his high school. So, therefore, he's not, by not putting Clemson on, not putting Texas on, and that's right there above the practice facility. A lot of you that's been to Clemson know exactly where that's at. And so he's got that garb on and trying to be neutral. You know how it is. He don't want to give away who he's going to pick, and I'm sure he's going to make some more visits too, because why not? He's Archie Manning's nephew. He's Peyton Manning's cousin. So, I mean, he's representing both of them. And if he's any good, if he's good as any of his cousins, then you know he's good. Well, we'll find out. Just because you got a last name don't mean you're that good, but they're saved real good. Even that people that have sort of a perspective of that with football, that work with football, have looked at him and said he's just as good as Peyton Manning. We'll see. Well, folks, it's been a great Tiger Talk Tuesday. It's hard to believe we're out of time, but time flies, don't it, when you're having fun? And that's what we're all about here on Saluda Now. Now, thank you so much for joining us today. An additional sponsorship today was made by Perez Tire. That's right, Perez Tire, right there on the Batesburg Highway. They're there to serve your needs. Call ahead to see if they got your size. I guarantee you they'll have it. New and used tires, repairs and oil changes, NASCAR Quick, brake changes, balance and rotation. 864-445-3732. And guess what? They're also in Johnston, 182 Lee Street, 803-430-5019. And you can also make an appointment. They'll detail your car there in Johnston location. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go see my friends at Perez Tire. Thank them. They're a vital sponsor of your Saluda Now. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm so glad that you were able to join us today, and we hope that you will have a good week and enjoy yourself, because, you know, it won't be long. The weekend will be here, and just what? 9 more Friday nights until we're here with Friday Night Football as Saluda travels to Johnston, Edgefield, South Carolina, take on the strong Thurman Rebels. I'm Bulldog Bert. This is Saluda Now. Thank you that you've joined us today. Town of Saluda, working together for the betterment of our municipality. We encourage the Tigers tonight, both on the field and off the field, as they work in the classroom. And we are a proud supporter of Saluda Now. Timeless Roofing, over 25 years experience, licensed and insured. Before and after, you can see quality and integrity never gets old. TimelessRoofingSC.com. Call for a free quote, 803-687-4184, and tell them Cuz sent you. Come to a Midlands institution, Wiz's Eatery, 110 Church Street, Batesburg, Leesville, where they have mouth-watering burgers, steak and seafood, great salad bar, as well as pizza. Call in tonight, 803-532-1157, or stop by and dine in. Wiz's Eatery. Get back to the good. We know your credit score isn't the whole story, which is why we take a close look at your financial history to get you on the path to a stable future. How can we serve you with loans up to $10,000 approved in 1 hour? Tax services at the end of the year, we can help you with your finances. Call 864-445-3770 or visit our website, loansbyworld.com. It's time for Tiger Talk Tuesday, coming live from MIGS. Tiger Talk Tuesday is sponsored by All Out Stump Grinding, Allen Harming Trucking, Berry Insurance Agency, CM Tree Service, Cricket Wireless, Crouch Hardware and Farm Supply, Economy Furniture, Edwards Heating and Cooling. Floyd Nicholson for Senate District 10. H&R Block. J&R Exterminating. Josh Price for Sheriff. MIGS of Saluda. Motor Coach Paint and Body Sales. Newberry Hospital. Northland Cable. Persimmon Hill Country Club. Punks PB and Jam. Price's Garage and Heavy Duty Towing. Ramey Funeral Home. Saluda Nursing and Rehab Center. The Law Office of Nancy T. Jordan. The Ridge Baptist Association of Churches. The Town of Saluda. The Wills Agency Nationwide Insurance. Timeless Roofing, and Whizzes of Batesburg Leesville. We're so glad you're tuned in to Tiger Talk Tuesday. We encourage to send your comments and calls today throughout the program. Today we'll have special guests, and we will talk about the latest going on around the Saluda area, as well as all the happenings in sports. You're watching Tiger Talk Tuesday, live from MIGS, on your Saluda Now.